Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Yasmin.
Hi, good morning.
I'm in my classroom still. I'm in my classroom.
It looks so good. Amazing.
Yeah, it does, I think. So, welcome to anyone who's joining us today. Look, there's Shannon. And Yasmin is, of course, here. And what else? So far, it's me, Shannon, and Yasmin. Awesome. That's as good as it gets. So I'm enjoying my classroom and this is also my workout room, so I had to quickly put together everything. I'm on a TheraPlate, which, if you know what a TheraPlate is, it's a vibrational machine to help heal. And so today we're doing the Ask Joan, and so you get to ask me anything about animal communication, energy healing, EFT, chakras, could even be about the school, could be about the amazing soup I made last night, it could be about zip lining. No, I'm not. It's not, unless I have fairy wings. But anyway, that's another story. So here we are, and who all is here so far?
We have got, hey, Chris Hopton Wilson.
Hi, Chris.
Hello. We've got Maria News
Hi, Maria.
Maria, good morning. Sorry if I mispronounced.
And giant hula hoops.
And giant hula hoops from Shannon. That is incredible. I agree. I just still cannot get over that.
Yeah, I was given someone made me a very large hula hoop. And
John, I think we need to post a photo of that on the group so people know what we're talking about.
It's
a little bit of an inside joke right now, but it is just incredible.
Yeah. Hey, Kristen. Yeah, so I will post the hula hoop in the group because not everybody has a giant hula hoop, and it's pretty unique. And Kristen was here in the classroom just a week and a half ago. Can you believe how it's already been, like, not quite a week and a half, but almost a week and a half? Tomorrow's a week and a half. Anyway, here we are in the classroom. And so if you're new to me, my name is Joan Ranquet. I'm an animal communicator, author, founder of Communication with All Life University, and a hula hooper. So anyway, in this school, we learn animal communication, or people become animal communicators. And, oh, look, there's Daisha and Kaya. Look where I am. I'm in the classroom. And Kaya and Kristen were both here. And we couldn't have done this without Daisha and the tech support. Anyway, we had a lot of helpers, and Daisha was amazing. So anyway, I can answer things about animal communication, chakras, all sorts of things. And, you know, some of the things, I get a lot of questions, and I can kind of go through that. But is anybody else chiming in?
I'm just writing a comment. Let's see, who's here that we haven't mentioned? Kristen Hedberg.
Kristen
Daisha,
was,
of course.
yeah, and Kaya.
And Kaya, yeah.
You're over there smiling. Share what are you reading?
Let's see who else. Leslie, did I say hi to Leslie Williams?
Hi, Leslie.
No, but hi, Leslie. So people are popping on slowly but surely to ask Joan anything. She's going to be...
Ask me anything about...
Very cool. This is the moment.
Animal communication, EFT, energy healing, scalar, chakras, and hula hoops. I have my little hula hoop right there because on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I hula hoop after I jump rope.
We've got Angeli Balian says hello.
Hello.
Joyce Lee Leggett says hi there.
Hi, Joyce.
Daisha has a question.
Okay, go.
I have a question. Kaya, can you do a scalar on someone while they are doing it on you?
Oh. Of course. And I think you'd be completely amping up the energy field. It'd be very powerful. And you could be in the same space doing the scalar on yourself with the person next to you doing it, and that would be very powerful also. And like I always say, my animals come into the field when I do it just on myself. I don't have to necessarily work on each of my animals, although sometimes I do for individual things. But it is, you're creating quite a field of energy that's very powerful. So I want to hear about the experiments. While on a motorcycle, that would be even crazier. But anyway, or hula hooping. Penelope, that doesn't sound good. Penelope's in the fairy room doing something. Penelope. What are you, okay. Sorry, I had to leave the set because who knows what my dog is doing in there.
That's okay, don't worry. Angeli, we're going to get to your question. Kristen, I'll get to your question too. I'll ask Joan. Are you ready for the next one, Joan?
Yes.
Did you find Penelope?
Yeah, she's in the fairy room.
So Angeli wants to know, how much should we practice to connect accurately with animals?
So, that's a great question. And I think that if you really want to be accurate, you're going to want to be in a class because you'll want the information verified. And that's, I'll talk about the beauty of the way we do it here in this classroom in a minute. But what I really would say is, when you're getting started, you're really using a new muscle, and to do a bunch on one day, like I have a limit to how many I'll have people do when they first get started. As far as in a weekend workshop, people have 2 to 3 big experiences throughout the day, and a lot of Q&A and a lot of verification. And I don't do more than that because you're using such a new muscle that you don't want to almost short circuit yourself. So it would depend on what I used to do one a day once I got going. I had no intention of making this a career, but I would do about one a day just to help friends out once I started getting going, and I'd already gone through all the classes that I took, and the next thing you know, word of mouth got going, and that's how I set up all my students to have so many case studies, because by the time they get through, and Chris Wilson can jump in on this a bit because she just texted me that she's hit her 50 or 45 or something like that, and they have to do 65, and the confidence that comes from doing that is profound. So are you calling someone?
No, it's my phone. Sorry to interrupt.
That's all right. I hope that helps. Oh, and what I was going to say is, in a live class, you have the intense experience, right, in person. But in the AC Level 1, Animal Communication Level 1, it's 12 weeks where you have a pretty great experience every single Wednesday, and you're building that muscle. And then you get homework partners. And so the people that you have homework with aren't from your level, they're from the next level. So they kind of act as mentors in a way. And so it's really set up so that you are pretty confident by the end of the 12 weeks.
Yeah,
Anyone?
that's amazing. So I'll also, just to let everyone know, I'll post the information about the Animal Communication Level 1 course coming up on that starts October the 27th, right, Joan? The
That's
12-week
correct.
online course
Yes.
for animal communication.
Yes.
Cool. And then the next course on energy healing for animals, level 1, starts in November, right?
November, I want to say the 11th. Is that a Thursday?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to say that too. But no worries, everyone. I'll post the link with the landing page so you can get more information. And of course, always reach out to Shannon. That's what she's here for, to clarify any questions that you have about the courses or any of Joan's programs. She's absolutely awesome. She'll answer anything, any and every question.
Yeah, we should have an Ask Shannon in here.
Yeah,
That'd be a good, yeah.
Or just connect with Shannon because she's just
Yeah.
so fantastic
Get
to
on the
talk
phone. Yeah, it's true.
to. She's amazing. And there's another question here. Let me see. Did I miss it? No. Wait. Hang on 1 second. Oh, Kristen. Here, I have it. Kristen Hedberg says, is it best practice to do Scalar Wave on yourself before doing it on someone else?
You know, that's a great question. So I used to always do it on myself before I did it on another. And I do it first thing in the morning. So I've always already done it at this point. But I used to like literally do a mini quickie, if you will, right before I'd work on an animal. But I feel like now I've so tapped into that energy, I can go there without having to do the whole thing. I can be in that space as I'm creating it for someone else. I hope that helps. And I miss having Kristen here and Kaya, and yeah, it was a really fun, intensive.
And then Chris has a comment. Oh, Jane Wu wrote something in I don't know, Japanese, I think. I'm not
Chinese,
sure.
yeah. What
Chinese,
did she write?
Japanese?
Chinese.
Chinese, Jane, we need a translation.
Jane comes from the town where there are pandas, and she's going to bring the school to China. Oh, look at what I've got. I'm drinking out of my China cup that I got in the Starbucks in the Beijing airport. And,
oh man, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I taught there in Beijing 3 years ago. It was very fun.
Right. That's incredible. And Chris Hudson Wilson says, I'm at 50 animal communication case studies. It has bumped me up to the next level, and people have referred me to others. What a learning experience it has been.
15 more and you get to start charging.
Yes. So fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Maury Manning jumped on. She says, hi, Joan.
Hi, Maury.
Everyone. Hi, Maury. Shannon, of course, says, are any questions about Joan's classes or certification programs? Please feel free to reach out to me at info@joanranquet.com. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Oh, Kristen says thank you. Cool. Daisha and Kaya. This is Kaya again. Another question.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be helpful to imagine yourself inside of a person's energy field while doing a scalar wave, as like you being inside of their body? Not sure if I explained it well.
You know what? I feel like even if I'm doing it remotely, so that is one thing I love. That's why I loved that we went to the Gentle Barn in the intensive and you got to work on an animal in person. there's, how would I say this? I feel like I almost bring the animal into my field, if you will, or our fields merge, even if it's remote, as I'm doing the work. I hope that helps. And then, you know, once or twice I've felt pulled into a body. I think I told this story. It's one of my favorite stories. There was a dog. No, Penelope. They're all barking at something. Penelope, come. Come here. Good girl. Hi. So there was a dog I was working on. I would work on her regularly because she had Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and at the time, this was like in 98 or 99, Rocky Mountain spotted fever, they didn't know as much about it, and there wasn't a lot they could do. You know, it was pretty destructive for dogs at the time. So they were on like an immune protocol, and I worked on the dog twice a week remotely. And if I was in, and then I would go out to their house once a week in Malibu. And so I was working on the dog regularly, and the husband didn't really believe in any of this, but he hung around. He was a filmmaker that ended up with a poltergeist in his film, and they couldn't edit it out. So that's what happened to him for not believing in all this. So he would watch when I'd work on the dog, and one day he said to me after I was done, and it was such an intense session. I felt like I went into her, and then the next thing you know, we were in the water and we were swimming, and then I pulled her up for air, and that was that. And so the husband said to me, "Wow, I've never seen anything like that. Where did you go?" And I told him the whole experience, you know, thinking he was just gonna, you know, laugh it off to his friends. And the first thing he said is, "Well, that's funny because this is the only lab," and she was about 8 or 9 at the time, that doesn't swim. He walked her on the beach every day down in Malibu. And so the next Wednesday when I was at their house working on him, he's like, "You're never going to believe this. My dog started swimming. Hannah went into the ocean and swam every morning." And so I feel like when I went into that situation, I was really maybe clearing a past life with her of drowning, but also working on her immune system. So, you know, you almost don't know, and I feel like that's the beauty of this work, is you almost don't know what all you're clearing, what all you're helping, what all you're moving through with and for someone. So I think that we all find our ways that we do this, and I think, you know, certainly in the medical intuition, and you're going to get into that, you've got to do AC level 1, but starting in January, you're going to do a lot of medical intuition, and you're going to, when you combine that with Scalar, it goes to another level. So that was my very long answer, but anyway. And any other questions, comments, observations?
That's incredible, yeah. Just such love, and just I miss being there with you.
Me too.
After the fall intensive, just such beautiful comments. They miss you, and just everybody's commenting, and to everybody else how they miss everybody. And I just think the bottom line is it's such an incredible community.
It really is.
That you've formed, and that you've created, and that you've just magnetized these people towards you that are just incredible. It's so inspirational.
It's true. They're amazing, amazing people.
Unbelievable.
And some people, it took, and some people, like Linda McCoy, she took her first class with me in 1998, and she finally joined the program. And so it's all when people are ready. And she took a Scalar class that I taught for humans at the time. Shannon went through the first graduating class and then finally came to teaching, and other people fast track right into teaching. So it's all when people are ready. to be part of this community that it's, I mean, we've got this group in the Facebook group, which is beautiful. And then it gets a little more granular once you start taking classes and being part of everything.
Yes.
And I will say that this, I mean, I've given it my best as far as making the hybrid work. But this was the best we've done. We've got, so there's all the technical stuff. People were able to, so people were on the big screen.
Right, this is what you're showing. Wow, that's
yeah.
Amazing.
And then,
sure.
And then, you know, we had 11 people in the room. And so every breakout group, I put a person in the room with somebody online. And they either went into a breakout room on Zoom or they were on the phone with each other. And it was such a great way. And again, I always pair up an advanced with a beginner. And by day one, there were no beginners in the room or online. But it was just really profound because it's the best the hybrid was integrated. And maybe it's third time is a charm. The first time, a year ago in the spring, that was hard. I had nobody here. I had nobody even helping hold horses when I had to do like EFT demonstrations. I mean, I was a one-woman show for sure. And but everybody was really patient. And then we've done 2 fall intensives now as a hybrid and last spring. And I think the combination of putting it in the classroom and the everything just really worked. And I'm very, very excited about how I'm going to do things moving forward, because this is the way that it can go on for the rest of my life. And we had people from India. The last time we had people from, in the spring intensive, we had England, France, and now we've got Melly in London. She was in San Francisco, but she's going to fly back next year to do the fall intensive because I think she really enjoyed the spring intensive. And I imagine...
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
And I think that, you know, that dynamic, and also it opens up your geographical reach. I mean, people don't need to be in the US anymore to take part in these programs. They can be online, and it's so convenient to do that. You know, you can just... I think that's also the beauty of the upcoming online courses. You know, the animal communication is that it's a home study course. You can do it from the comfort of your home. There's no travel.
Yeah.
And they get to be with you and your teachers in the school and the community as well.
Absolutely. And so people from Europe end up in the 11 a.m. class, and people from India end up usually in the 5 p.m. class. Like our ID wakes up very early to be, I think it's 5 in the morning from India. So
Joan, and the spring intensive coming up next year, is it going to be the same format as the fall intensive? It's also going to be this hybrid because it works so well, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. So amazing. So exciting, actually. It's opened a whole new universe. Angelique has another question. She says, is grounding meditation, this is a good one, is grounding meditation required every time before connecting with an animal during the initial stages?
Okay, so that's a great question. We kind of really broke that apart here during the intensive. And again, like I was saying to Kaya earlier about, you know, I've already done a scalar, or somebody asked, anyway, that I've already done one in the day. I've already had a big, long meditation first thing in the morning, right? And scalar. So that is what I consider home, or dropping in, if you will. A lot of people, we as a group, we took a lot of Silva method, and in the Silva method, they have another, they call it going to level. But for me, I lost, there she is. For me, being able to drop in, if you will, right before I connect with an animal is absolutely necessary. And we did a lot more this time of like having a longer meditation and then having each person, kind of drop in. And we'll probably play with that a little bit in the AC level 1, we do the standard grounding meditation, and then once you move on, it's not done for you as much, but I think almost everybody experienced this dropping in. So yes, I say you always have to have that space, because I like to think that, if I'm in a busy barn and I'm talking to 1 million horses, which reminds me, I've got to cancel my flight. I'm supposed to go up to Seattle and talk to horses. If I'm in a barn and it's busy and there are people wandering around talking about the horse show last weekend or the tax sale or the, what horse people talk about, and I'm trying to communicate with this horse right here, or I'm in a busy doggy daycare and dogs are barking like mad just right outside the little office that I'm in, which has been the case a million times. My being able to drop in is what enables me to get so quiet even with chaos around. And you've got to be able to do that, because it's really safe in classes, but and in the class you can drop into that space, and then when you go out you can reconnect with the safety of the class. But if you don't have that as a practice, it's going to be difficult to quiet in all circumstances. And to me, I want to be able to do it wherever I need to do it, right? What if there was a car accident and there is an emergency and there's sirens, and is the dog or the horse okay that was in the accident? You know what I mean? Like, you've got to be able to drop in like that. And that's another practice that we really got to talk a lot about during the intensive. Anything else? I hope that helps.
I'm looking at... Hi, Jill. She just joined.
Hi, Jill. Jill is... we have such... Jill and I have a whole separate curriculum going. Right now we're in O.M.E, and we're on week 2. So you could join that. O.M.E is Organs, Meridians, and Emotions. And I love all of our classes. We have an intro to acupressure, 5 elements, yin and yang, and now O.M.E, Organs, Meridians, and Emotions. And we are very much... this is, I think, our best class. It all leads up to that, and anyway, I'm loving our class. So there's the Jill and Joan plug, and of course, this used to be shipping and receiving, but I was fired from that for Jill and Joan because Anyway, so now it's a classroom, but that's that. Any other questions, comments, observations?
There are no other questions coming in so much. Just Shannon just said, she made a comment to say the hybrid October intensive was awesome. Mm-hmm. And Tanya Hoffe said it was an amazing experience.
We couldn't have done it without Tanya. Tanya was in charge of groups, and she got to teach also. But Tanya and a couple other people, Tanya and Chris, did kind of the fast track into teacher training, and now we've got 3 new people that fast-tracked into teacher training. But anyway, Tanya was in charge of putting breakout rooms together, and we had pairs like you can't believe. So it was quite an orchestration.
And your electricity, your power went
Oh my
out.
God! And my power went out one day, and we still, yeah. All of a sudden, my handyman drove up. We had Durga had a battery. I had a battery, and Ayat brought a battery. Like just thought to drive down here with a battery. So we were able to hook everything up. Hey, what are you doing in there? That can't be good, Penelope. She's rattling around something. Anyway, it was crazy. And then the handyman went and told the electric people, the people working on the electricity, that at 2 o'clock a bunch of hot girls were going to walk out and to move the work over this way. And so they finished early because they took care of all of these things. So anyway, that's why we call him the mayor, because he just works things out with anybody. And that's that. So we got through that day. That was pretty crazy how we got through that day. Yeah, Daisha, Durga, all of us were like quickly in action. Ayat. I mean, what made Ayat think, let me bring a battery? Anyway, it was crazy. So, crazy great.
That's amazing. I remember seeing those photos, and I posted them on social media. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, we went into emergency mode for that day.
And it was supposed to be Thursday, right? It was supposed to be...
Right.
And
right.
so I was prepared for that because it would be the first day of a new module. I didn't have to worry about lunch.
Right.
Oh, it was crazy.
And I get this panic phone call from Joan early in the morning. We have no power. We can't do anything. What are we going to do? And
oh my God.
Just amazing. I know.
Yeah, because I was going to do the live that day with everybody.
Right.
Oh,
right.
yeah. No. I needed all phone, I couldn't use extra electricity at that point.
Oh my God. And so, yeah, as Chris says, it worked out perfect with no power. You guys were put together magic there.
It was amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Kristen has a question.
Yes.
She says, any tips on doing scalar or communicating with an animal that is under anesthesia? I find it quite uncomfortable.
It's funny that you say that, because I always think that like when an animal's under anesthesia, and I've done a lot with animals and people, I always feel like getting in there is like almost a tippy canoe. And I know, like, wow, it's hard to get in at first. And then you just have to be super steady. That's a great question. And when you do it enough where you see like, okay, this is an animal that's pretty drugged up, all of a sudden you're going to find that when you're working on an animal or even communicating with the animal, you're going to know, wow, this is a tippy canoe. Or that's my version of it. You'll have your own. But when I feel a tippy canoe, I know that that animal's on a ton of medication, could even be on, this is not a good sound. What are you eating? What? No! You can't do, oh my God.
What's going on there?
She was going to take out the whole dynamite herbal tonic. So there would not have been, Penelope, there would not have been a worm in the neighborhood because this is an herbal parasite cleanse. Anyway, I was in a hurry this morning, obviously. So you don't need a whole bag. You got a scoop. That's good enough. So do you want to come up and say hi to everybody? Come on. Come on. Hey, herbal tonic breath. Hi. Hi. So I hope that helps, Kristen. Tell me what was uncomfortable about it, because I bet it's that same thing that I call Tippecanoe. And sometimes you can even feel a little nauseous.
She says that Kristen says he felt he was in between.
Oh.
He felt he was in the between. And she said, yes, that's a good point. Thank you, Joan.
Oh my God.
And she says, yes, it does help. Thank you.
Yeah.
I definitely felt nauseous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, you know, when you think about somebody under anesthesia, they are suspended. I mean, it's a suspended reality for sure.
Right.
So then you have to manage that reality. And this work is very grounding because sometimes an animal or a person can feel like, wow, I could just slip right out. So then, you know, we're helping to kind of land the boat, bring the Tippecanoe to little order. Do you like that whistle? Order. Anyway, any questions, comments, observations, any more? I see long blurbs typed out, but I can't read it.
Don't worry, that's what I'm here for. I'll read them
Okay.
for you. So Shannon, Shannon posted a comment. She says a new AC1 student had a question. She's at work, and Maureen Bissonette asked how often should she do scalar. She's helping a dog with a tumor. And what does it mean when her pendulum goes backwards?
Okay, so if the dog has a tumor, and I would say, so obviously she must have bought the digital course, and in there's a clearing method. So if it were my animal, I would probably work 2 or 3 times a day. What are you doing in there? 2 or 3 times a day, and I would probably, maybe we can put her in the group, her dog in the group, if it's her dog. Because we have a lot of people in the big program that will just, when we put somebody in the group, we all work on that animal. So there's that. And when the pendulum goes backward, I mean, again, it's sort of like me telling Kristen that for me, when I feel anesthesia or drugs, I feel like it's a Tippecanoe. I think that there's no set thing of what it means for it to go backwards, but so in that animal's case, I would say that if it were in the area of the tumor, that there's an imbalance of where the energy is flowing for that particular animal, and likely to use a word from Chinese medicine, where that tumor is, there's probably a lot of stagnant. That's what a good TCM term, a lot of stagnant energy. So I think that then that would be a chakra I would be really giving a little extra work with. So that's that.
That's great.
These are great questions. We should do this more.
Yes.
I love this.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. Yeah, Shannon said she has the digital class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Any other comments for Joan? Questions? It's such an opportunity, as I said in my comment, to pick her beautiful brains. And ask her anything you want.
I'm not going to do a hula hoop demonstration if that's what you're asking.
No one's had the gall to ask you to do that.
My hula hoop's right there. The big one's outside. This has been very fun, and I've loved it, and I love answering questions. So we'll do this again in yes.
There are 2 more questions.
Yay!
Do you have time?
Yeah. What time is it?
Okay, cool. It's 1:42 my time.
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time. Maury has a question.
Yes.
Sometimes I don't have the time to do scalar on my dog Oreo, and when she can't seem to move her hind legs to get out of her bed, I do bladder sweep on her, and she gets moving right away.
That's awesome. That is awesome. And there's also you're following down the bladder meridian on both sides. I also like to think of spending more time when I had an older dog, and I've always had people spend more time than down at those hind feet without putting any pressure there at all, but just imagining that you're just kind of rebooting the circulation. And so do the bladder sweep, and then you're down at bladder 1, or even under the pad of the hind feet, if she lets you touch them, and really visualizing that you're just kickstarting all new circulation. You'll be amazed. I could get my Olivia going, get that little motor going. Of course, she looked like Tim Conway because the front end wasn't moving much better, but when he would do an old man shuffle. But it's it's amazing how that works.
And let me see, there is one more question.
Daisha's saying, back on the road. Love you all. Okay, bye, Daisha. I feel like the den mother. I've been asking them where they are every night. And so please keep me posted and be safe. They're going on their motorcycle from literally my house the other day to their house in Key West. And where are you guys now? Did they put it in there?
No, they didn't. Maybe she'll post. Maybe Daisha will post where they are. So, Kristen says, what do you recommend is the proper protocol when you see a missing animal sign with a picture and phone number?
Well, you are going to get, we'll have something in the winter, we do a little virtual retreat on lost animals, and there's information in the back end of the school, in your portal. But in the beginning, of course, I wanted to help every single lost animal, and I did for many, many years. I don't just call people because you don't know what their belief system is, or maybe they found their animal dead already and it's like salt on the wound. So I'm mindful that if somebody wants to give me their phone number, give them my phone number, that's great. I'm happy to help. So that's what I do, is I just, send big love, and I have a very famous technique of just yelling at the picture, go home. And you would be amazed how many times after I've yelled at the photo on the screen of my computer, the people will say, oh my God, my dog just walked in, or my cat just walked in. So I just send as much love as I can and hope for the best. And then, if someone gives them my number, then that's great.
Fantastic. Great. Daisha, they're in Texas, almost in San Antonio.
Oh, wow. You guys got to Texas last night or yesterday. That's a long haul.
That's amazing. So, Robin says, I love the Q&A. Thanks, Joan, for being so available.
Yeah, we'll do more because this is so fun.
Yes. And Shelly says she misses everybody.
Hi, Shelly.
Yeah. And let's see what else. Susie Murray just jumped on.
Hi, Susie.
And she said, I had no internet until now, so sorry. And Maury Manning says, thank you, Joan. Great idea about the hind feet. And Shannon confirms that Joan's go-home method works.
Yeah. Just yell, go home. I'm glad that the phone is far away because my stomach has been growling so loud. All right. Well, if any of you are on the fence about joining AC Level 1, Animal Communication Level 1, first of all, there's a few people on here that are going to be classmates, either in the 11 a.m. or the 5 p.m. class, and it goes for 12 weeks, starting Wednesday, next Wednesday, not tomorrow. And it is really, I teach 2 of them, and it's probably the last time I'll do that. I have amazing teachers. And as a matter of fact, last summer, the last AC Level 1, I got on at the end and it was like asking people about their experience, and all of them said, we thought we were going to really be bummed that you weren't teaching, Joan, but your teachers are amazing and we don't mean to hurt your feelings. And it was like, no, that doesn't hurt my feelings. That's the biggest compliment on the planet. And I end up teaching more of the advanced stuff. So that's, that's just where I am in my journey with teaching in the school. But it's structured really well for people to get immediate verification. And there's nothing more powerful than that if this is what you really want to do, than getting that absolute verification, feedback right away so that you are building the accuracy muscle. And I would have to say that the one thing that just blows everybody out of the water in this group is how accurate they are. And it just builds and builds and builds and builds. And it's just very powerful. And we have a great, and I mean great, group starting in next Wednesday at 11 a.m. or 5 p.m. Pacific. So please join us. If you have any questions about it, you can always get on the phone with Shannon. Or if you have questions about energy healing for animals, that starts November 11th. I think if that's a Thursday, that's the day. And that's going to be super fun as well. And that I do teach, the whole thing. Not for long, though. I know I'm teaching this round every class, but if you wait till next year, this time, I'll be in Kenya for part of it. So jump in now, because I'm here. So anything else that I'm forgetting?
Let's see. Susie Murray Reed says, trust the process.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jane says, thanks, Joan, getting ready for AC2 class. Woohoo!
Yep. Hooray.
AC, Animal Communication 2. Wow.
Yeah, she's in the big program, and so they have advanced, and right now they're doing medical intuition today at 11 and 5.
Wow. Yes, and Shannon says, reach out. I'm here at info@joanranquet.com. So that's amazing. I don't know. The last I heard, there were only a few spots available. I'm not sure. I know that it's an intimate group of people, right, Joan? Do you know how many spots are available still?
Yeah, we keep it very small just because it gets bigger as you go through, but we're even figuring out how to manage that. But it's definitely an intimate setting, very much.
Yeah. And I think that there's still the special offer going on the payment plans, 3 or 6 months. But
Yeah.
all that, I mean, it's all on the page that I posted there, and also Shannon is available to walk you through all of that, you know, the payment plans and all the actions. So it's worth your while connecting with her.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
No other questions?
Alrighty. Well, thank you, everybody. See you next week. Or
Thank you so much, everyone.
bye.